My Doctor, your health anytime, anywhere. Hello, lovely people. Welcome to the My Doctor podcast. My name is Joy Mwesigwa, and I am your host. And on this podcast, we basically talk about health, all aspects of health. We talk about various diseases. How can you live a healthy lifestyle? How can you prevent certain things? And we talk everything about health. This is a health podcast. And so we have been having a series on lifestyle changes or healthy living, perhaps. And we have had an episode on metabolic syndrome. We've had one on alcohol use. We've had one on diet. And today we're going to be debunking, we're going to be talking about exercise. What does exercise do to your body? Should all of us exercise, or it's just so people want to lose weight? What does it do to your body? Is it good? Of course it's good. And we're going to find out what it does to our bodies. How good is it? What are the different ways we can exercise? Yeah. So thank you so much for staying with us. We're still here with Dr. Yacoub. You're very welcome once again, Dr. Yacoub.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Thank you so much for coming another time. So you could introduce yourself again to the people.
Yeah. Hello, our dear listeners. My name is Dr. Yacoub. I'm a medical doctor, behavioral scientist, passionate about health coaching, and the team lead at Vigilant Living.
Vigilant Living. Okay, thank you so much for taking off time to come and speak to us about healthy living. Hope by the end of this series, people would be able to make some lifestyle changes. Just watch and then look into your life quietly, meditate, and see where we can change some things, right? And no judgment. All of us have things to change, whether in diet, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's in exercising. All of us have a way to make some changes to live a healthier life. So for today, we're talking about exercise, Dr. Yacoub. So I'd want us to talk about what does exercise do to your body? Why do we exercise? Why is it good in the first place?
Yeah. All right. So it is quite ironic that we talk about exercise. I mean, can you ask your grandfather, maybe even your father, to exercise? Because it was already part of life. The average person 50, 100 years ago was supposed to wake up, maybe go digging, maybe go to a war. So the average body, the average person back then was already exercising. However, because of the change of lifestyle, the cities we live in, the nice cars we drive, the nice offices we sit in, has made us sedentary. In a sense, our body are not functioning, are not used, are not moving. We even have elevators, so everything is nice. So the body is just having to sit down and eat, in a sense. Yeah. So that's why we need exercise now as something which is missing.
So what exactly does it do?
Exercise basically means we talked about metabolism, the whole series. And when we consume, we have to use that energy. Yes, our brain uses energy. Actually, our brain uses majority of the energy, but still it's not enough to finish the energy. So the body has to use, the muscles have to use. We have to burn it. We have to burn that energy. And we can only do it through exercise, through exercising. Because the cells consume that energy. Then the cells produce energy, which is how we function. And even that's how we build our muscles. Even if you look at a baby, they first start crawling, then they start walking, because that's when they build the muscles. So we lose the body. We talked about the 4 horsemen of death. In fact, the only medicine for all of them, proven medicine, is exercise. Yes. The only proven medicine, including dementia, is exercise.
To prevent, or can it, if someone has dementia, because it's common in the elderly guys, I have my grandma, she has dementia. Does exercise help before? Or if she already has and I start taking out walks and what, can it help?
Ideally, it's supposed to prevent, but even someone who has dementia, the more they exercise, the more they will also heal the brain. Because dementia, even the same thing with stroke, happens when the brain is damaged. Yes. So the brain requires to get back the blood going back to the brain. And that's what exercise does. When you exercise, you feel the blood rushing back to the brain. And now the brain can heal to some extent. Unfortunately, dementia, especially the Alzheimer's, is irreversible. So when you get it, there is no going back. You can just maybe slow it down. Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So I was going to the types of exercise. What can someone do? And it's termed as exercising their body.
All right. So mainly, just like we talked about nutrition, we have three main tactics for exercise. There's what we call aerobic exercising, as well as anaerobic. So aerobic means you exercise when you're using oxygen, you are breathing. Anaerobic means, just from basic biology, that you're using oxygen but not through breathing. So you're getting energy from somewhere else. The second one is what we call strength training. Then the third one, which is the most undermined one, is stability. Yeah, building stability.
Okay. So what activities fall in the
Okay.
different categories you
All
talked
right.
about?
All right. So let's start with the aerobic. Walking itself is an aerobic exercise. In fact, we ideally supposed to walk. There's what we call zone 2. So there are different zones of exercising, which also link with the heart rate. So zone 2 is when you walk, you're walking a bit fast, but you can still talk to someone. Yes. Ideally, someone has to do that 90 minutes a week. So 20 minutes a day, maybe, to stay healthy. Well, let's talk
It's
about
called what?
zone 2.
Zone 2. I think that's, for people who know me, I work very fast. So I think that's going to be like an inside joke for them. I think I'm like a zone 2 master. or
Maybe zone 3, because zone 3 means now if you are grasping air, now that's more of zone 3. So that's sweating, because now that's when you cannot talk. But it's also healthy because it's more healthier. It's just that it's hard to maintain it. But all of us can actually go to the shop 10 minutes a day, which is enough. Yeah. Just a bit of a brisk. Yeah, walking.
Okay. And then other activities that we can do?
Yeah. So mainly
walking.
Walking covers, but even walking at home, I don't know, sweeping, cleaning, cooking, all of those.
Getting your body busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all of those could contribute to us getting aerobic exercise. Anaerobic now is the one which is more of now the zone 5, for example. If we know our lungs, there's what we call lung capacities, and specifically there's what we call VO2 max. That is the volume of oxygen our lungs can carry maximally. So a healthy lungs is supposed to carry 50%. So someone has to build what we call VO2. If you have seen athletes, for example, footballers, they get tested. So they put some mask in their face to measure. That's when you're measuring that VO2 max. So running, swimming, wrestling, they're all the different types, even dancing, which can put you in that VO2 max. Yeah, someone can actually exercise without taking a break. Yeah, climbing a mountain, climbing a hill, all of those things. Sex, maybe.
That was my exact next question. Now you in my mind. How for someone, for married people, and they're doing enough exercise, like, okay, to what extent is it an exercise? Like, because they're exercising their muscles too, like, you get what I mean? Can someone just, if you tell someone exercise, they'll be like, but I exercise.
Yeah.
Does it count?
Well, I mean, it does, though. I guess the older someone gets, the less effort they put in, even when they're being intimate. So, yeah, it might not necessarily count as the exercise, but it does raise the heart rate, which is also healthy in a sense. Sex itself contributes to bonding, stress release. It has a lot of health benefits for that matter. Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who's starting out, someone wants to choose to intentionally, because I think we normally exercise subconsciously without intention, like walking to somewhere, sweeping, housework. But if someone wants to intentionally start exercising, and also maybe if they're obese, they have metabolic syndrome, where can they start from? Like, what would be the easiest starting point for them not to get overwhelmed?
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that we believe if someone wants to exercise, they have to go to a gym. But that's not actually true. Because yes, number one, gyms can be expensive. At the same time, they require a lot of motivation, which is one of the main things about exercise. Are you motivated enough to do it? So having to dress up in a gym clothes, it's a lot of work. But simply walking, starting by walking 20 minutes a day. Zone 2, like the one I mentioned. Go to the shop, I don't know, go to work. Don't have to use border. If you're going to go somewhere, you can just maybe try to walk. If you maybe use the bus, if you use the car, you don't have to continue with the border. So just to put it as part of your lifestyle, specifically something you do every day. If I go to office, at least I can be like, maybe if I'm using a taxi, let the taxi drop me in somewhere, so at least I get 10 minutes to walk. If I'm going to walk back, maybe to the taxi park, I can just walk back. I don't have to use the border, because where am I rushing? Yeah, I think that's the challenge. Yes, we're all rushing somewhere, but we really need to create just part of the lifestyle of if I go to shop and maybe buy breakfast, let that be a chance for me to go and walk. So I make it intentional. Yeah, that's the right way to do it.
Okay, so for cases of people who have busy schedules, some people work, first of all, maybe he has to leave home at 5, drop the kids at school, go into an office, sit the entire day. They get done at maybe 5, take the kids back home. They don't have time. They apparently don't have time to exercise, and the entire day they are sitting, like the white collar jobs, you're sitting the entire day. What exercise can they incorporate into their lifestyle? Like, what are some of the easy things that you can just do at home? Maybe, I don't know, you get what I mean? Like, something that's not time consuming, that 5 minutes, I'm done with that.
Fair enough. So you can say, for example, if you are in an office which has an elevator, please don't use it. Use the steps, climb the steps. It's a chance for you to exercise, actually. It's an easy chance. So you can incorporate things which are at office, maybe going to different rooms, maybe going out to get your lunch, all of those things. Instead of ordering lunch to come to you, you can incorporate these small things in your day, because yes, you cannot put a price on health. Today it might not be important, you might think you're okay, but you wait till you get the first heart attack and you will really wish that you were exercising, that you were working out.
So in simple terms, I think we should make it a point to walk. If you have an opportunity to walk, walk. If you have some time, walk and get what you want to get. Exactly. Walk. Okay. So and also in regards to still some people tend to get issues when they exercise. Like, someone is exercising and then whenever they try to run or use a treadmill, their heart rate goes so high, and mainly I think most commonly with our obese people. So what would you advise such a person do? Because they actually want to exercise, but they can't take it anymore. They feel like, I'm going to die, I'm choking. Sure. What can they do? Are there like more recommended practices or swimming, or can I just sit down and I stretch my muscles from where I am without...
So as I was talking about the VO2 max, the lung capacities, you have to rebuild that capacity now. You cannot just climb the treadmill and want to run for 10 minutes if you have not been doing it. So you start with 1 minute, do it maybe for a week, then go to 2 minutes, then go to 3 minutes, because the body now gets used to it. The lungs start opening more, so they can contain more oxygen. Because especially that one which is anaerobic, where we don't have to, where we cannot use the oxygen we are breathing in, requires us to build that capacity. Take your time, you don't have to rush. Because the beauty of losing weight, maybe through exercise, is that it's supposed to be something which can happen for 3 years. It's not supposed to happen for 1 month. You can't just say, I want to lose weight in 2 months, 3 months.
So you have to be patient.
You have to make it part of your life.
How can you stay motivated for those years? Because I think most times someone hits the gym, because most people try the gym to be consistent, and then 2 months down the road, they're like, I'm tired, I don't see any change, I miss my food, and then they just get back in. So how best, like, with you've had patients, right, who are like trying to exercise and they have lost weight. So how best do they keep motivated to do that?
True. Motivation is one of the biggest missing gaps. Every person in the new year, they make a pledge. This year I'm going to do this, but by the end of January, people drop out. So one of the things which is missing is a community. To get a community of fellow people who are exercising, people who love running. There are some of these running clubs within Kampala. There are a couple of famous ones. They are running their marathons. Just finding that community of people who exercise. Even within a gym, you'll find fellow gymmates who are always coming daily, because that helps you to keep you accountable. When you have a community, you can be accountable. At the same time, you also make it part of your identity. You say, I'm a runner, I'm a walker. Like, the more it becomes part of you, it becomes easier to do. Because people like us do things this way. So you become a runner, you become a walker. Becomes part of you. Those things help you. Now, into today's era, the advantage we have with technology is that we can be accounted to our technology. So you get the applications now. Some of our patients, they use applications, Google Fit, Samsung Health. You get it, download it. It's free. It counts your steps. It counts how many calories you have burned. It shows you your heart rate. It shows you. It even can reward you. It gives you reminders. Well done, today you have walked this distance. So those applications help you. And at the same time, that can also be the proof you show to your doctor or your health coach that they can assess. They will see in this week you have walked every day. And it also becomes fun because the more you have such a form of a competition, such rewards, you also get excited. Yeah, when you see it actually showing.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So also there's something called Kegel. Is it pronounced like that? Kegel exercise or something. I want us to talk about that. What is that? What is it about? How does it help?
Yeah. So Kegel exercises are mainly exercises which are prescribed for mothers, maybe pregnant women, because it's all about building the pelvic floor muscles. Yeah, the pelvis has a lot of muscles, so to make it stronger, so that it helps with easier childbirth, postpartum recovery. It prevents conditions we call like fistulas, which can happen. So it helps to keep the body, especially that pelvic area, healthy and strong. Even within sex, it also helps to have a healthier. The body has more capacity to do it. Same thing with men. Yes, to build that pelvic floor. Gives you the muscles, because just like these muscles you have in your hands which need to grow, those are also muscles down there. Yeah.
How is it done?
So there are ways of following it. Anyway, even YouTube, you can Google, but it's all about pushing the muscles together and keeping them in there for a while. So you constrict, then you release. So a lot of them are just all about that. Yeah.
Okay. Away from that, what exactly does exercise do to the brain? Because for people who have been to the gym, they will tell you that after hitting the gym, you're happy, you want to eat, then you have the best sleep there is. So what exactly happens? Like, does that exercise release some hormones? What happens for all that to happen?
Yeah, a very good question. In fact, that's why I said exercise is the best medicine for all these NCDs. Number one, yes, it does release positive hormones because you achieve the goal. If your plan was to run for 10 minutes, you run, you feel satisfied, you feel you have done what you're supposed to do. And in fact, that's why it's even good to start the day with doing maybe a push-up, maybe an exercise, maybe running. Because if you succeed, you start the day with a positive. I've done well. At the same time, yes, even the brain, it helps the brain to get a lot of oxygen. The blood goes back to the brain opens up. It removes stress, it removes depression. It's also the best medicine for depression and anxiety, because you are using that energy. A lot of that energy is energy which is contained in the body, what we call the libido. But the more you use it out, the more you release it through exercise, through sweating, the more relaxed you become.
So you've talked about libido. Let's go into that. How does exercise play a role in that?
Okay, thank you. So libido, yes, it is commonly linked with sexual energy, but it's not just sexual. It is all the energy we have in our body. We need, that libido is an energy, is a psychological energy. You can put it that way. Just like we are taking food to get energy, we also need that energy to function. But yes, it does play a role in sex. In today's time, that's why we have a lot of what you call erectile dysfunctions, premature ejaculation. All these things are conditions which come out in men because of sedentarism. They lack that energy, that libido to sustain it. Maybe other reasons to do with pornography, to do with masturbation, all contribute to the loss of that energy, that libido. Yeah.
So meaning if someone out there is struggling with premature ejaculation, they can exercise and become...
Yep.
If you're out there, exercise.
Of course, there are other causes of those
Yeah, of
conditions.
course, but
you can rule them out. Yeah, but yes, it does heal. It does heal. That's why that's why it's common with diabetes and even hypertension. People get erectile dysfunction. A lot of men get diabetes. It leads them to have erectile dysfunction. Yeah, because there's also some form of clogging. Yes, but now that exercise also helps the blood to flow, and it opens up. Yeah.
I think also another thing that exercise does is when you exercise, it's like, have you ever had like flu? I don't know if someone can relate. And then when you exercise, like everything comes out, you're sneezing, you're doing what? So what does exercise do to the respiratory system? If I have flu, can I exercise and become better? All those things that are clogged, can they?
Yeah, true. I can give you an example, actually. If you have not been exercising for a while, the first time you exercise, you can actually collapse, because that shows you get a form of an asthmatic attack. The lungs have not yet been doing it, so they have become weak. But the more you do it, the more the lungs open up, the more the body takes oxygen. Because now a lot of the reasons why flu makes us sick is because we do not get the oxygen in a sense we're supposed to get at the lungs. So the exercise opens up the alveoli, which are the sacs in the lungs. So it is the cure. It is the old cure for
almost everything.
Everything, yeah.
Almost everything. Yeah. So you've talked about how the first time someone exercises, they can even collapse and everything, yeah? And you talked about asthma. So I want us to talk about that. Because children who are born with asthma have experienced a lot of things, the breathing, the attacks and everything. So, and there's a school of thought that exercise can help to like reduce on those symptoms of asthma or the attacks, reduce on the number of attacks and everything. So how does that come into play?
Yeah, so thank you. So asthma is becoming a common condition. It is an autoimmune, means that the body itself is damaging itself, common within the youth. So yes, you need some form of rehabilitation for the lungs. Yeah, I know there are incentives aligned with pharmaceuticals, with drugs, with medications, but yes, someone can actually recover from asthma, but they have to do it, of course, with the doctor informed, with them doing it cautiously under supervision, because yes, the more you train your lungs to open up, the bronchial, that's now the lung tracts, yes, the less you become reactive to asthma, because asthma basically happens when your lungs are the airway tract is very sensitive. So you remove that sensitivity, you expose it to exercise, you force it to open up, and you heal it. And that's why even a lot of kids recover from asthma, yes.
So it can heal?
A lot of people actually recover from asthma, yes. You just from 20 years, yeah.
Actually, I think that's why most adults don't have asthma.
Exactly. The asthma for them they get is done for smoking now, which is
and also industries and all. Meaning the earlier you start your child on exercise, the better, the faster they will heal from asthma. And also, but then still on asthma, what are the safe practices? Because I could get my child to exercise and then they faint or they get an attack, they cannot breathe. So like what exercise would you recommend, and for how long, just also keep the children in check and safe?
Yeah, fair enough. In a sense, that's why I said there has to be some form of a supervision. The doctor has to be involved. Of course, you have to keep that pump for asthmatics, the inhaler, yeah, so that in case they get an asthmatic attack, yeah. So it has to be a careful process, and it's called respiratory rehabilitation. It's a whole field, pulmonary rehabilitation. Ideally, there has to be someone who is an expert. Same thing with TB, because there are also a lot of people who get TB require that pulmonary rehabilitation to use the lungs, like parts of the lungs which have been damaged again. Yeah.
Okay, so as we come to the end of this episode, I would want us to talk about, we have been having all these episodes with you, but I want us to talk about Vigilant Living, because you talked about how you do health coaching and everything. What do you exactly do? Where can someone find you? And you could also tell us about one success story, because you do lifestyle changes and health living. So maybe tell us about one successful story, one patient you had an experience with that actually turned out good and you got the results you wanted. Yeah.
All right, thank you for this chance. Yes, Vigilant Living, we do our health coaching virtually, but also physically, as well as corporate wellness. So yeah, the process of health coaching, we do use technologies, we use apps, we use smartwatch to some extent to collect that data. And yes, we do get clients from different backgrounds. So obesity is common thing, diabetes, type 2. Now I can give you, for example, there was someone who came with what we call fatty liver disease. We talked about alcohol last time. Yes, alcohol leads to the liver being sick, but also fat does the same thing. So he went to the doctor. The doctor told him, you have this condition. If you do not recover from it, you can damage your liver and you'll be in serious issues. So as usual, people in Uganda, they go to a doctor, they hear, if they get medicine, if it works, they don't go back. Do you know what they do? They go for herbal medicine. Common thing here. So he tried different herbals. It failed. Somehow we were connected by a patient, a fellow patient. And I'm happy to say, after extraneous activities he did for 3 months, he went back to the doctor. The doctor told him, I'm not even seeing the noodles now, the fat's in the liver. So keep on doing what you've been doing. But yeah, he really sweat it out. He sweat it out.
Like all he did was exercise.
Exercise, fast, mainly. Those are the two main things.
He didn't take any.
No.
Wow.
Yes.
Fatty liver disease. Wow.
Same thing with diabetes. Same thing with hypertension. But yes, it's, of course, some people are already on drugs, so we do keep the drugs. Maybe with working with a doctor, we do taper it down. We do reduce step by step. But yes, doing those same things. But of course, the motivation is what we also contribute, accountability, because you have to keep sending to us proof. We have to follow you up. We have to see from the app. We have to pester you. Yes, you, in a sense, you'll be forced to change it. Yeah, you'll be forced to change it. So there are people who drop out. They fail to keep up. But thankfully, a lot of them still somehow feel the difference. So yes, some clients in 3 months' time, they really go and becomes part of them. So they don't even need us, because they becomes part of them, yeah. To exercise, to walk, to fast, healthy dieting, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. Maybe you could give your last message to the people in regards to healthy living and exercise in particular. Yeah.
All right, yes. So there are 4 main things. I think we talked a lot mainly about the aerobic exercising, anaerobic. The other 2, which are also crucial, is strength, building muscles. I can give you something interesting. You can measure how long someone is going to live just by shaking their hand. That grip strength, because that's how you know actually someone has enough muscles to live and sustain. So building muscles, exercising, lifting heavy weights, taking a lot of proteins, of course, to build the muscles. It's very crucial. Last still is stability. Yes, the older we get specifically, the more likely we are going to fall, even going down steps. So we have to also build that stability. We have to be using the muscles. There are different muscles for stability, for balance. So we also have to exercise our stability so that tomorrow we do not get some of these fractures, which is one of the reasons why elderly pass away when they get that disability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Jacob. Thank you so much for watching this far. Hope you have taken something out of this episode. Walk as much as you can. Walk down the stairs, walk up the stairs, walk to go get your food, walk. If you're taking a taxi, get out 5 minutes before your place and walk. Let's start exercising early, right? But you can also do other things. Your hobbies that fall in exercise, like swimming and all that. Hit the gym, get a community. It's better to be motivated. You'll be better motivated with a community. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you're going to start exercising. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is the My Doctor podcast. My Doctor, your health, anytime, anywhere.
My Doctor, your health, anytime, anywhere.